Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot, and this is going to be the general daily collective message for Wednesday, May the 4th. Keep in mind, timing and energy is still fluid. This reading could play out today or over the next several days. This reading may or may not be for you, so please only take with you the messages that resonate. Leave behind the rest. Also, keep in mind, this reading is general. It is not sign specific, although I will call out any zodiac signs that you may or may not be dealing with. Let's talk about some of the astrology aspects first before jumping in with the cards. We have a couple of transits today. We have a Venus transit, sextile Lilith, and we also have Mars, sextile Uranus. So a lot of dark repression coming up with the feminine aspect and like an awakening energy with the masculine aspect. So this could be two separate people, a masculine and a feminine energy, or this could just be your own internal masculine and feminine energies going through a transformation. So with Venus sextile Lilith, it can bring forward an opportunity to attract inspirational people in your life. And it's kind of opening up this doorway for many of the feminines in the collective to just step into more authenticity. It's also going to bring forward this illumination when it comes to any limiting beliefs from childhood that really have prevented you from becoming authentic with yourself and with others, which can create some challenges. There's always a positive and a negative. So some challenges in the energies that you might have to grapple with is facing where you have been selfless, where you've played the martyr, and where you've kind of given up your authenticity for another. And this is really going to trigger a collective embracing of relationship changes, especially when it comes to releasing these old paradigms, these old karmic contracts. And you might find it challenging to maintain your truth, especially if you've been building a web of lies everywhere in your life. So much easier just to remember the truth than to remember all of these lies. So you might have a hard time maintaining the truth, especially when it comes to releasing a stagnant karmic attachment when it comes to any relationship issues. So this sextile really is a harmonious aspect, asking us all to authentically express our truth within all of our relationships. And it might come with a little bit of ease in today's energy. You might find yourself naturally being vocal about expressing your wants and your desires when it comes to your relationships, and really taking ownership for your life when it comes to your likes and your dislikes. Many of us go through relationship cycles and we figure out what it is we don't like, but how do you bring into your life what it is that you do want to attract? So it's about respect, mutual respect. That's of utmost importance when it comes to relationships. And you may just be inclined to assert some boundaries if some lines have been crossed and nobody's been respecting your boundaries. So when we affirm our boundaries, that is when we can step into being the leader of our life, and we can inspire others around us to do the same. So boundaries is huge when it comes to the spiritual journey. So I think get ready for a revelation, for somebody's mask to fall off, to really reveal who they truly are when it comes to close relationships. And maybe you've been previously hiding parts of yourself from people, or maybe you've been dealing with somebody that's been hiding their authentic truth from you. But usually this is all stemming around some fear of, lack of acceptance, or fear of maybe not being able to be understood by another. So I feel get ready for the veil of illusion to be lifted, especially when it comes to your authentic personality. If you want to connect with others in a more true, authentic way, then you have to be willing to unveil the mask, to illuminate all of these unconscious fears that really have been hindering you from stepping into your truth and just being uniquely yourself. So this energy could also highlight where some of your relationships are just no longer resonating with you. When we kind of step onto the ascension path and we climb the ascension ladder, our vibration will separate from people that aren't in alignment with the spiritual journey. So it's going to be made very noticeable in the energies, I feel. who's no longer at that vibrational resonance that you're at. So, and you might feel this gravitational pull to open yourself up to new sources of inspiration in order to journey further down this road of self-development, self-actualization, and self-acceptance. So in order to reach a place of self-acceptance, you have to embrace your kinks and your quirks of your personality. And that's what makes us all unique. That's what makes the world go round. We all have our own individual quirks and kinks that make us us. And so maybe it's time to bring that to the surface during this time period and to really practice the art of non-judgment. Because when you are judging another, it's a reflection of fear of judgment in your own life. So what is no longer serving you? What has actually closed out that you've not been willing to release when it comes to being the leader of your life? Because the Mars sextile Uranus energy, and I talked about it in the forecast on Monday, it's this lone wolf leader of the pack energy. So Mars represents our ambition, our energy, and you know, that desire to take action, and it does rule basic instincts. The male principle can act with a lot of aggression, a lot of anger, and usually works out of survival mode. So and when it comes to Mars energy, there's often no contemplation before taking action. It's like this primal ignition, this primal life force energy. So a lot of sexual desires are likely surfacing under this Mars influence. It's this raw physical energy and facing opposition when it comes to this creative energy. So I kind of feel assertiveness, directiveness, and being forthright with all of your communications, which can create a lot of impulsive, rash, and aggressive reactions and opposition. So it's all going to depend on your own Mars in your chart. But usually a sextile, like a trine, is a positive aspect. And when we're thinking about Mars and Uranus working together, this is a transit that will intellectually challenge you to establish new thought patterns. And we're breaking down these old, negative, outdated program belief thought patterns. And we're kind of being challenged to go into these negative behaviors and to release any inhibitions when it comes to stepping into our personal beliefs, not our program beliefs, and stepping into individual freedom. So the intent and the energies today with these aspects is to kind of provoke these new thought patterns, which can offer huge potential when it comes to these new horizons that we're exploring, stepping into 5D Earth. So a new direction, perhaps, being pointed into a new direction in the energies today, and progressing when it comes to our humanitarian mission and kind of emerging from the shadows and seeking alternative solutions. So mentally, you might be feeling very restless in the mind space today, and if that's the case, sit with those thoughts, allow those thoughts to flow through you. Don't attach to the thoughts, don't attach to the emotions. Allow them to flow through you in a state of meditation in order to spark this curious nature of these patterns. And if you want to find an effective outlet when it comes to these energies, I highly do recommend diving deep into meditation in order to gain that real comprehension of all of these negative thought patterns, and how you can find the ability to free yourself into a more original, independent thinking process moving forward. So get ready to receive a lot of psychic insights that will likely enable you to make a long-standing decision that you've been putting off, because we're stepping into these futuristic dimensions and we're stepping into this cosmic inquiry when it comes to this expanded consciousness of our mental capacities. And the energy is asking us to specifically focus on what it is we want to expand, what it is we want to explore when it comes to a wide variety of esoteric interests or spiritual topics. And I do feel the energy will settle down, but it's feeling very fiery, very passionate energy, and you might find it difficult to persevere through any challenges, but the Mars aspect is giving you the ability to achieve these aims. So there might be like a sudden upheaval of some sort, and something might come to a complete halt or a dead stop if you felt like you were making progress. And if that happens again, it's just displaying that there's been an energy flow blockage in order for you to reevaluate this erratic energy, this erratic Uranian influence. And communication is going to be very important in the energies today. Maybe you're going to be attracted to a spiritual teaching role in some way, but I feel it's this leadership energy, this anointing energy when it comes to sharing the downloads and the information that you have received with other people, and maybe starting your own social media platform in order for you to also express your own opinions and individuality. So radical acceptance, stepping into unorthodox thought processes, and having that intellectual confidence in your knowledge to put that message out there. So get ready to face some opposition and quite possibly an argument with somebody as you kind of stand in those firm boundaries in the energies today. And maybe there's going to be an unexpected encounter, an intellectual combat of some sort when it comes to this aggressive Mars energy. So I do encourage you to approach the energies with this transit with strategy and skill and friendly discussions, because nobody likes to be defeated, and we're not here to be in competition. So something is likely disintegrating in the energies that's really been disturbing your progress, or these new concepts and ideas that have been coming forward. You might even feel attacked when it comes to a status quo foundation with that with the Lilith aspects coming up, because that's going to trigger all kinds of dark, shadowy energy to the surface. So get ready for lies to be exposed, or where anybody's had disregard or lacked sympathy for you or understanding of your own emotions, and this regulation when it comes to your senses of priorities moving forward. So get ready to tap into some subtle cosmic dimensions is kind of what I feel. And if you've been ignoring the call, I think there's going to be this passion ignited when it comes to stepping into a new interest of the mind space. So rejecting restrictions, especially when it comes to intimate relationships, rejecting domination, and I feel commitments are being reevaluated and coming to a final decision, a final conclusion in order to modify your life moving forward. So some good crystals to work with in the energy today would definitely be ruby and blue sapphire. I'm just going to grab a drink of my coffee, and we're going to jump in with some cards and see what else needs to come through with the cards today. I grabbed all of the major arcana and the aces with my Syrian Starseed tarot deck. I also was asked to pull the Shadow and Light Oracle deck by Lucy Cavendish today, because I do feel a lot of integration of some shadow aspects with the Lilith energy coming up. And we are going to use the Angel Wisdom Tarot today, and likely pull some spiritual journey oracle messages. But we're going to start off with the Syrian Tarot. Reason, engage in a higher reason. That's not the Hierophant, is it? It's kind of like a sage energy. So, you know, a lot of cosmic downloads, a lot of mental processing, a lot of higher chakra activations when it comes to engaging in a higher reason. And there's that karma. Definitely some karma coming to the surface to be addressed in order for this growth and this expansion. With the Lotus on the card, there's a lot of expansion when it comes to our feminine energies. And I kept getting not quite a pain, but an uncomfortable pressure around my solar plexus along my spine. So on the feminine side. So I do feel a lot of divine feminines in the collective are preparing to assert themselves and tap into their own inner masculine energies. And we kind of do got to heal the feminine aspect first, and then, you know, heal the masculine aspect, and finding that healthy balance between receiving and acting and doing. So let's get a couple cards with this deck first to see what messages need to come through for the collective. The Hanging Man, a transition, and a Tower. Oh, good God. But this ultimately will lead to a brand new beginning with the Ace of Crystals, the Ace of Pentacles. So there's something that needs to completely break down and die away in order for this new beginning. And it does feel like it's going to be a challenge, and it will lead you to love and engaging in that higher reason. I always feel like Merlin the Magician energy with this card, and I do have a fond connection to Merlin the Magician. So, you know, stepping into that sage, and look at that, another ace, the Ace of Swords, mastering your thought processes. And this has all been underway since about that new moon eclipse. So an activation of your indigo starseed mission is kind of what I'm feeling. So this is kind of where we're at, hanging suspended in time, gaining this enlightenment. If you look at it, kind of looks like the Buddha energy. A lot of enlightenment in the mind space is taking place, and we are transitioning through this cosmic portal gateway that's been recently activated when it comes to a new beginning in love, a new abundant beginning, because the universe truly is limitless and abundant, but there's definitely the breakdown of something that's no longer working. So interesting. I was watching a documentary the other day. I was sitting in the parking lot waiting to pick up the girls from school, and it came across my YouTube feed. What happened the day the dinosaurs became extinct, and what happened when the earth, you know, began to go into the ice age. And it kind of reminds me of some of the depictions in that video. And we're stepping into the age of Aquarius. So, you know, all of these old patterns kind of have to burn up with the flames and die away. So it's like this restructuring of all of these negative beliefs. And although it is like a tower with some burning windows, I feel there's going to be like a major shakeup. Maybe somebody's getting thrown out. And maybe this has been building up. Even though it's been building up, it might come in as a shock. But I feel a storm warning of some sort. And you're likely going to have to face some challenges before being able to engage in this higher reason. And you're going to need to nurture yourself big time as you kind of sit in all of this truth. So a breakdown of something that's no longer working is definitely coming through. And somebody is gaining that new perspective. So you very well could be dealing with a Pisces, and this is actually the Death card, the transition, as we transition from one way of being into another. And the ascension journey will often feel like this floating, like near-death experience as you tap into these higher dimensions. It does feel like this outer body experience as you go through this process of soul retrieval. So it is the breakdown of something no longer working in order for this death, this rebirth, for this new beginning. So yeah, there's definitely something coming up to be addressed that's getting quite intense, a negative circumstance that needs to come to the surface and be addressed once and for all in order for a lesson to come full circle. So, you know, often we teach people lessons and we don't know we're teaching them a lesson. So there's definitely a karmic situation here that's helping somebody evolve, maybe one or both of you. Usually we go into these karmic contracts to learn a valuable life lesson. And these lessons truly are a gift because it gets us to transition from one state of being into another state of being. And there's that twin soul energy coming up again. So as we prepare for this Lion's Gate, we're preparing for that first mass wave of twin soul unions, of divine counterpart unions, of these higher unions, of wearing no mask, stepping into authenticity. And we all know how complex these twin soul connections can be, because it kind of forces you to break down and to strip away everything outdated, everything that's no longer working, if you are to step into that highest frequency to bring this high vibration love into the world. So twin soul connection coming through. Again, that's been loud, very loud recently. So there's that mental clutter. You do really have to be cautious of spending too much time up in your head space. So that's why I say put on the meditation music and allow the thoughts to flow through you without the attachment to the thought process, because we are kind of stepping into mastery as we evolve as a human collective, as humanity evolves and we conclude all of these powerful karmic lessons from all of these past life timelines where we've tried this ascension journey many times over. So there's that freedom and that liberation that I talked about. So that's that Lilith energy coming through, breaking the chains of addiction, breaking free from any restrictions or limiting beliefs or any blockages or impediments that you've been met with recently when it comes to challenges. And let's face it, freedom always is a choice. We can choose to repeat these negative patterns, and you're going to end up exactly right where you started in the first place. Or you can choose to reprogram your mind and evolve beyond these karmic relationship cycles. So there is going to be a very powerful shift when it comes to this cycle, when it comes to stepping into mastering and concluding a powerful lesson. A lot of us have been integrating this healing work for several years now. If I look back all the way to 2016, I've been on this path almost consciously since about then, and then the twin flame journey catapulted and accelerated this ascension journey for me in 2018, 2019. So many of us are gifted healers, and this came out again yesterday. So it's just a reiteration. This is the general collective energy because we're stepping into our evolution for the age of Aquarius. So we are all healers. We all have a purpose. We all have a gift we're here to share. We all can heal others with our words, just our vibration alone, our thoughts, our touch, our actions. So it's really time to dig deep and explore your own healing mission in whatever capacity that is being activated with you. Because somebody here, I think many in the collective actually, are receiving those psychic visions, third eye activations, and receiving the important downloads and messages from divine, from your angelic team, from God's source. And many of us are to bring forward these prophetic messages. So pay attention to the powerful symbolism coming through in visions or in dream space, because it's likely prophetic in nature when it comes to your mission and your service-based role for humanity. And then we get the giving and the receiving. So it is about equal reciprocity, the law of equal giving and receiving. And when you put out there, you will receive tenfold. So rewards, compensation for the work that you've done is what I'm feeling. And embracing this newfound energy of a healthy exchange with others without, many of us, we give, and we have no expectations. And then there's so many out there that give, and they're going to throw it back in your face after, well, I did this for you and I did that for you. So that is not equal giving and receiving. We give without expectations, and we trust that everything always comes back to us in that balanced state. So definitely freedom and liberation, and it is about self-empowerment and taking ownership of everything you've gone through. We in these negative toxic relationship cycles, if we've been abused or we've been the abuser, there's always two sides to the coin. We have to take ownership. If you've been, abused or not receiving what it is that you deserve, where are you needing to take ownership for the part of you that resonated with that toxicity, that resonated with the fact that you had such low self-worth that you would allow yourself to be treated so poorly? And when we take ownership of, our part, because it always takes two to tango, and when we take ownership and accountability, that's when we can step into our highest potential. So any small step forward is taking a huge leap in the right direction, and we all know how difficult it can be to embrace change. So a lot of ancient wisdom is being restored when it comes to balancing the scales. And there's that Marie Masquerade. So somebody definitely was intrigued, playing into a lot of drama, a lot of gossip, a lot of slander. Somebody definitely was wearing a mask, and I feel it's about time to step into that authenticity, to take off the mask, and to take off the mask and to go within, because it is a time to connect with spirit. It is a time to connect with your higher self and that lotus energy again. So, and the lotus grows in the muck, in the mud, and you kind of got to get down and dirty if you are to find your true authentic self. So a lot of clairvoyancy activation. So another confirmation of that third eye activation. So get ready to receive some information when it comes to some fated energy. So we get the three witchy sisters and the three fates. So third party interference, a couple of threes. And hey, let's face it, what goes around comes around. So there is this karma being rebalanced. And remember, we saw the karma card earlier. So I always see this three witchy sisters, the power of three. I always think of myself and my two daughters. I'm a triple split soul. I have a grand fire trine triplicity in my chart, and I always think of like the three little witches, myself and my two daughters. So I'm a triple split soul. My oldest daughter is a split soul, and then my youngest daughter is a single soul. So we kind of work in tandem, integrating these family lineage lessons, and my youngest daughter kind of grounds a lot of these ascension shifts. So three is also the Holy Trinity. It is the union of the mind, the body, and the soul. And there's definitely something coming back around. What goes around comes around. And I remember about a year ago, I used to hear this saying from my guides, 3 birds, 1 stone. So there might be 3 people going down that were definitely, you know, not treating you properly. But something about the energy of 3. And there's definitely a storm brewing. There's going to be a huge collision, a huge tower when it comes to a collision of beliefs in a karmic contract, styles, attitudes, and energies. Because you know what? That tempting offer, somebody's paying a huge karmic price right now, and they're learning a lesson, and they know they need guidance. But where is that guidance going to lead them? So definitely a collision of beliefs. We're going to get a couple more energies, and then we're going to jump in with the tarot. Ooh, that one went flying with a vengeance. So, guys, yeah, facing the ghosts of the past. Somebody's definitely been haunted by the past, by a past decision. And I feel a lot of ancestral communication, ghost people. And it is kind of time to step into that authenticity, to be your true self. If you've been grumpy and you've not been, you know, living your best life, you've not been stepping into your authenticity. So something coming back around again to be addressed. And there's a lot of inner alchemy when it comes to releasing your true power, because karma's here knocking on somebody's door when it comes to a past decision that is needing to be rectified, a major transition. And maybe it's this King of Wands. We have the Moon and the King of Wands. So there's definitely been a shift since that new moon eclipse. Somebody's definitely playing into a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, since the revelation has recently made something crystal clear. Pisces energy, and maybe it is this King of Wands. Maybe this is the King of Wands stepping into that leader of the pack energy. The King of Wands is a visionary leader, a motivational, inspirational leader. So somebody I feel has been anointed when it comes to stepping into a leadership role, maybe preparing to step into the spotlight and releasing any fears, any illusions of the mind stemming around fear-based energies when it comes to this leadership position or this new role. You know, releasing any reservations or expectations is what I'm feeling. So we're going to get a 9-card spread today, and we will clarify as need be. But a lot of visions, and that's that King of Wands energy, visionary leader. So there's a need to get out of the head space in order to get into the heart. I'm having a hard time holding on to the cards today, so I think something you've held on to for a long time might feel like it's slipping through your fingers is what I'm feeling, as this new perspective shift kind of comes into play, as this breakdown of a false foundation is completely dismantled. So 2 of Pentacles, ooh, 7 of Swords, wise counsel, the Hierophant, could be dealing with a Taurus. The 6 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles, ooh, the 8 of Wands. The 8 of Pentacles, there's that King of Wands, and an awakening. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Swords. So yeah, somebody was definitely very manipulative in the past, and something's coming back around. What goes around comes around, and there's definitely a need to address some passport decisions. Somebody in the past, without a doubt, took a gamble, took a risk, and made a very unwise choice. They thought maybe that would make them happy. I think they're very unhappy. Somebody in the past, without a doubt, lacked a lot of integrity and had a lot of questionable motives. And I feel some exposure with that. And maybe this person with these questionable motives has recently gone within to spend some time in meaningful solitude in order to shine some light on these negative vices. Because if we're to step up and be those examples for others, we have to seek to become our own spiritual mentor. We have to go through this process of self-discovery with that wise counsel. And we do have to meditate and turn inward in order to discover our true authentic soul's desires. So maybe pause before action, but there's this development of our intuitive gifts and trusting in the wisdom. So in the past, there was a lot of juggling. Somebody was juggling two options. That's very clear. There was secrets, there was lies, there was thieving, there was cheating. And divine is kind of stepping in saying, hey, you can't keep living your life like this. So somebody, I think, was working hard on two different options. There is a need to bring balance back into a situation. You can't keep juggling multiple people and expect that things are going to work in your favor. So somebody's been juggling a lot of energies, and they're finding it very hard to find balance in their life because they've been losing a sense of peace of mind when it comes to this past unwise choice, when it comes to, you know, not having that personal freedom. And somebody is becoming very aware of their own negative actions and the negative actions of others. And I do feel quite possibly a huge material loss in the energies, a loss of material wealth because somebody was not honest with themselves. They were not honest with the people they were connected with. And I think a revelation of some embarrassing secrets, and hidden secrets can harm you always. So this is a major transition. Somebody here is definitely in need of some divine guidance, some divine help, maybe a spiritual counsel. Maybe you are that wise counsel. Somebody here, I feel, is a spiritual coach, a spiritual teacher, a counselor, a healer, or quite possibly, you know, has that direct connection to God source. Very well could be a Taurus. And the answers are coming in, and somebody, I feel, knows it's time to step into this mastery, to step into a higher level of personal commitment. And when we personally commit to ourselves, then we know we're finally ready to have that higher level of commitment with another. So there is this energy of packing up and going in a new direction. Things are becoming crystal clear, and somebody is leaving these challenging issues behind. So welcome in that relief as you close out this cycle, because somebody here, this masculine, I feel, there's really only one main energy, this masculine energy, is well on his way to finding peaceful resolution. Somebody's been in this deep, dark depression, quite possibly even struggling with some health issues or some illnesses of some sort, and they are relocating because they're not in a position where they're at. You know, they don't love where they're at. They don't love their job. They don't love this negative relationship. And there's this recognition. So dead central is the Three of Pentacles, of, you know, what it is that you want to do. We're all here to do what we love and to bring this high quality of spiritual work into the collective, especially when it comes to entrepreneurial, creative endeavors. And we always get paid well for our craft. The universe always provides. So it's about, you know, restoring somebody's reputation, I feel. Somebody's reputation has been damaged, and they want to restore their reputation. So I feel there's going to be a lot of communication. Somebody has been facing all kinds of challenges. They've been dealing with all kinds of stress. So much has been going on. And there's going to be an unexpected shakeup, a rapid change in energies, and quite possibly travel of some sort when it comes to working on something. And with the eights, I do feel something coming back around from the past, and I'm being told to reference the Lionsgate energy again, the 8-8 portal. So all of this transition energy is in preparation for this Lionsgate portal. So I do feel the King of Wands here, a masculine energy that's learning all he can about spirituality, his spiritual purpose, and quite possibly this twin soul connection. I'm being shown somebody kind of researching twin soul karmic relationships and all of that. So maybe it's time to go back to school. But I do feel this King of Wands is seeking some spiritual mentorship, really paying attention to the finer details. And maybe He's looking at a feminine who is a public speaker of some sort that is already taken on a leadership role within the spiritual community. So spotlight energy coming forward. And somebody's definitely seeing that big picture now, boy, let me tell you. So somebody is getting ready to communicate their visions, and they've been overly critical of themselves and maybe overly sensitive because they've been going through this major wake-up call. So the awakening, it is the Hanged Man, I believe, or yeah, it is the Hanged Man. So there's been this internal pause for reflection, gaining all of these insights and the energies, and an awakening to see things from that whole new light. So two energies of the Hanged Man going through an awakening and preparing to step into this new light, to embrace your own individual uniqueness, and to step into some charitable actions, some charitable work. So definitely somebody's really been struggling, going within, knowing that it's time to take action when it comes to moving on from a foundation that has created all kinds of negative experiences, and somebody wants more from their life. And that's what that lunar node activation came in for, was to spark this seeking energy, seeking more out of life than what we've all been experiencing, and embracing this spiritual quest. When we get to the 8, you know, we're coming out of confusion, we're coming out of that 7 of Cups, disillusionment, and we're ready to choose to make these big life changes and to leave the past behind and to walk through the doorway and seeking wish fulfillment in our happily ever after. So a major shift in priorities, definitely somebody packing up and leaving home because they're finding their personal power to assert themselves. And I do feel somebody is going to come forward seeking compassion and forgiveness after a realization when it comes to love. So let's get a couple clarifiers. I would like to look a little bit deeper into this wise counsel. Ooh. Well, there we have it. We have somebody that is very depressed or has been going through depression. The King of Swords. Yeah, somebody definitely has lost a lot of respect. They received some poor advice. And somebody is getting ready to come forward and communicate clearly that they've been very unemotional, very dissatisfied. Maybe in the past this masculine was not emotionally available, but they're waking up. They know it's time to step into this wise counsel, this higher level of commitment. So a divine masculine going through an awakening, once again, preparing to take charge of a very karmic situation and preparing to accept this leadership role and to come forward with that apology, because his pre-empress is here and she's been waiting. She's abundant. She has everything she needs. She's enjoying the fruits of her labor. She's likely already in a leadership role, and her hard work is about to majorly pay off. So there's definitely somebody that is self-employed and doing very, very well, enjoying the solitude in her life. Somebody that's gone through this renewal of some sort and has stepped into compassion and forgiveness, which is creating this paradigm shift, triggering this masculine to head in a new direction, because there's clarity when it comes to life purpose, and there is going to be a need to maybe apologize. So get ready to receive a message regarding a past relationship and somebody wanting to seek that new emotional experience with you. So it might mean a fated romantic encounter or an invitation of some sort, because there's a heightened psychic connection here, and somebody's come into some recent truth after a period of no communication. And I feel like a little bit of 5 of Pentacles with the Ace of Swords because of the snow, the coldness. So somebody's really working hard to refine their life and overcoming these obstacles and having faith that everything can work out if they come forward with open, clear communication and remain objective, because there's been some withholding of communication because somebody was in this entrapment, this illusion of entrapment in a karmic situation that really fed their lack of self-confidence. And it's made them feel really helpless, and it's created this fear when it comes to taking action and taking responsibility. So a lot of extremes. I feel an extreme loss of money when it comes to these blocked emotions, and somebody wants to come forward and maybe with a business proposal, because things are not just black and white. So Let's look into this awakening energy, because I do feel a major, major paradigm shift. Yeah. The wheel, the release card, and the ego. Wow. Bottom of the deck, 10 of swords. So yeah, this is the end of a very painful karmic cycle. There is relief around the corner, releasing all of the grief, all of the sadness, and a new doorway of opportunity when it comes to stepping into happiness and releasing this burden, this weight off of somebody's shoulder in order for a new cycle in love. So somebody's been dealing with addictions, whether their karmic partner is dealing with addictions or it was an extremely codependent trauma bond. And there's been a lot of melodramatic, challenges. And I feel somebody was trapped all up in their ego, the devil, chained to something very toxic that was an illusion, not wanting to take responsibility for their situation and make choices that would support their pathway to happiness. So all of these unhealthy habits and addictions and codependencies are definitely being released. Capricorn energy. So there's a major, major ending that will absolutely lead to a new beginning. But there is a need to release something in order to step into this new energy. Maybe a person that's been holding you back, because we're embracing this spiritual transformation and things are moving forward. A fresh new start, the end of delays, sudden unexpected progress. So if you've been feeling like you've not been making headway, you're about to move forward in a very positive way. A lot of positive changes, and this could even mean somebody coming to travel to see you at your house when it comes to some past betrayal, because there is going to be a rebalancing, and the good you put out there always does come back tenfold. So if you're this Nine of Pentacles pre-Empress energy, I think get ready for an unexpected influx of abundance. Because you've paid off your karmic debt and now somebody needs to pay off their karmic debt with you. And this is wealth that you're going to be able to share with the less fortunate. So it's about loyal dedication, being apprehensive and protective of your energy, and planning carefully for the future. And things are about to get going because there is a guardian angel watching over you in this connection. So let's get a couple last messages from Spirit to close off the reading. You are a giving soul, but do not give to people who deplete and don't reciprocate, and only choose people that, treat you with dignity and respect is a big message. So we're just going to get 3 last messages from Spirit. What other messages need to come through for the collective today? Major change in priorities. Major change in structure, embracing self-discipline, and that choose people with dignity and respect come out again. So no, you need to put those blocks up, those boundaries up, and tell people no if they're not treating you with dignity and respect. And somebody here needs to get rigorously honest about what's going on, because they've been playing the martyr and they've been self-sacrificing, and there is a need for some protection. For sure, and a deep need to trust in your intuition, because somebody's definitely been feeling this for sure, spot on. And yeah, there's been subtle cues, and so somebody's been, telling you what their words haven't, because somebody's been in a situation fraught with all kinds of deception. And perhaps the time has come to finally acknowledge this lesson and learn from the past so we don't repeat this anymore. So release and let go, because Spirit's taken the lead. That's quite clear with all of this major arcana. This is without a doubt in God's hands, in the divine's hands. And this is a major lesson being learned as part of your soul's evolution. And this is where we kind of work through all of this difficult past life karma that needs to be cleared. And we have to acknowledge these difficulties if we are to heal from them once and for all. So get ready to receive a message, because somebody's coming forward with a lot of love and a lot of support after going through a karmic contract where they were likely gaslit and belittled and made to feel very small and unsupported. And there's this major refocusing of the energy so we can all attain our goals. So meditation, center yourself, and let's get through this shift today. And that's kind of what I got for a message, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a twin soul reading with me, I do encourage you to check out that description box below. And I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.